Greetings and salutations. I'm America's R&B historian, Tyrone Dubois. And my friends, you're watching the one, the only, The Cindy Davis Show.
I'm Cindy Davis Evans of The Cindy Davis Show. I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Andre Pittman of Enthroned Records for making this interview possible. Now, my guest today gained popularity in the 80s with the popular group Midnight Star, with dance hits like No Parking on the Dance Floor, Freak-a-zoid, and Midas Touch. Please welcome Grammy-nominated Reggie Calloway. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Thank you for joining me today.
It's a treat. It's a joy for me as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So we'll just jump right in.
Okay.
How are you doing? How have you been doing throughout this pandemic?
Well, I've always worked from home more or less unless I'm on the road traveling. So I haven't been traveling, which can be a good thing because I get a chance to save more time, do more moving in, unpacking boxes and things of a natural day. But I've been staying out of the way here in Los Angeles, not going out very much, just to the grocery store. And then I finally got my online shopping thing to another level. So that was a good thing all the way around. Because I spent time going to the market like on a almost daily basis. That was my get out. But I'm like, okay, can't be doing that anymore. So
Yeah.
it's very safe.
Wow. Yeah. It's been like that for us too. It's been almost a year since we actually went out and sat down at a restaurant. But there are worse things.
I'm a great fan of nice restaurants, whether they be casual or whether they be dressy up. But to hear some good live jazz on occasion, I haven't been able to do that in a good while, so I have to play my own jazz.
Yeah, I know that's right. And you can do that, talented as you are.
Thank you so much.
I just want to extend my condolences to you about your dearly departed mother. Yeah.
Mother a Christmas ago, and then this Christmas we lost her sister, my aunt, took COVID. So that was
no.
it was very tragic. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
She was 89. My aunt was 89, and she would have did 95 easily. She was rolling.
Wow, she was on the road. Oh my God! Sorry to hear
got her,
that.
and so people who don't believe it's real, let me tell you that it's really real. And she was good 12 days on the ventilator, and the whole deal. So it's nothing to play with.
No, it's not. It really isn't. People should definitely take it seriously because it's a serious pandemic. It really is. It really is. So you grew up in Cincinnati. What was life like for you growing up in Cincinnati?
Well, most of my family was from Louisville, Kentucky. And that's where Vincent was born. My brother and I, Greg, we were born on an Air Force base in Cheyenne, Wyoming, because my father was in the Air Force. And then we quickly went back to Louisville, where our grandparents, everybody lived, and we lived. We moved to Cincinnati when I was going to the fourth grade.
Oh, I
So
see.
it was quite a change. It was a beautiful change in that when I first saw my elementary school, I was just blown away. I mean, it's like I thought I was going to college because when you're in the first or the third grade, you sit in one class all day, but that in the fourth grade, you're passing classes. You go into the English class, to the science class, to the choir class, and my school had a choir, and also had a small orchestra. We did concerts and talent shows, and there was the all city boys choir. So Cincinnati was quite good to us musically. Another beautiful thing, when we moved there, our next door neighbors, their father had a band, and the band would practice in the basement. So we'd go over there and sit in the windowsill and look down in the basement and watch them practice. And that was our first time of really seeing live instruments being played to that extent, and it just mind opening.
Yeah, yeah, wow. Yeah, that is. So that kind of shaped you, growing up in Cincinnati around all that music. How did you get started in music, by the way?
Well, it's definitely in your DNA. It's in your blood. When it attacks you, you don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
You find yourself beating on pots and pans and oatmeal boxes and trying to make instruments with a string and a bow. You know something's going on, man. But
Okay.
both my grandparents had pianos at the house, and
Mhm.
so I'd go over my one grandparent's house on Virginia Avenue, and I'd sit at the piano and try to make up songs at a very early age. I wasn't so much into learning other people's songs. I was into making up my own. So it started with me in the very beginning. But there were certain songs that inspired you, and one particularly in Louisville, Kentucky, when we were living in the projects there. uh, "Do You Love Me Now That I Can Dance" came out, and since I was trying to meet the girls, I figured I'd learn how to dance. That didn't work out too good for the dancing part, but yeah,
Oh,
just great inspirations, and in Cincinnati, a great legacy of music uh, with different talents that come before us. James Brown recorded very many of his hit records there, and then
mhm.
after a while, he even brought Bootsy Collins into his band, Bootsy and Phelps, who were my music big brothers from Cincinnati, and
Were they your influences? Who were your musical influences though?
yeah,
Who
well,
did like who did you emulate or want to be like or mentors?
yeah, well, it's I guess James Brown was one of the first ones, but at the same time, it was the Motown sound. It was Smokey Robinson. It was the Temptations, you know. And then I stopped concentrating on singing for a while, and it began to get really into the music. And at
Mhm,
that point, later on, it became Earth, Wind, and Fire was a
mhm,
super example of mentor, and it was kind of like the springboard of the formation of Midnight Star, using all those different elements that Earth, Wind, and Fire presented between musicianship, uh, different balances of music between jazz, funk, and R&B, putting them all together, and then the incredible vocals and the incredible stage show. So that was definitely one of our biggest. On the production side, it was definitely Quincy Jones.
Oh, what did Quincy Jones teach you?
Quincy Jones taught me everything I needed to know about music production. And I say that jokingly, but seriously, because once the doors open, then you can learn everything else yourself.
Yeah.
But I long admired Quincy
Mhm,
and wanted to be like him in terms of being an educated musician, being able to compose. So I studied composition and
mhm,
theory, in college, and
mhm.
also we coincidentally we both played the trumpet. So
Oh, awesome.
and I admired all the guys that Quincy actually arranged for and performed with, coming
Mhm.
up through his career, and even the fact that he went to France to really uh,
Learn his craft.
similar his craft of orchestration and arranging. So
Yeah.
when I was in France for 3 months, I was imagining those days and imagining when he had to leave the country because he wasn't making enough money to stay. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of great stories. But the biggest thing about Quincy was we had done 3 albums with Midnight Star, and we had good music on them, but nothing had caught on, nothing had caught fire. We didn't have that hit yet. And it was
Mhm.
a matter of, God, is Dick Griffey going to stay with us for one more album, or are they going to
Mhm.
drop us? Or if this next album doesn't make it, nobody stays with the group for 4 albums, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
going into that album, I had the pleasure of meeting with Quincy Jones at his concert backstage. Our road manager, Leon Burnett, knew Quincy very well, and got us in and got us backstage. And after Quincy's show, he pulled me to the side and talked to me one-on-one for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And things he taught me in that particular conversation were totally liberating, because It's when you're in a band of 9 members and you're all like brothers and sisters, and you have to be the producer. You have to wear a different hat. You know, it's not like, hey man, what's going on? You know, it's like Chrissy would say like this: there's no democracy in music, meaning that you can't just take a poll of 9 people and say this is the way it should go. You have to give it up one single mind. You can listen to all the ideas, but when it comes down to the very thing of does this go there, or does this go there, it has to be a single thought, because you're building a song from the beginning to the end, and you're creating emotions. He said if the chill bumps on your arm rise up, that means you got something.
Oh yeah, chill bumps, huh?
Yeah, don't mess it up. You know.
That's right. Go with the flow.
Yeah, you can add one more part that'll take those chill bumps and reduce them to them. So, a slightly out of tune note that gives you chills. You got to hold on to that. You can't just go fix that note and say, "Oh, now that note's fixed. We'll move to the next thing." You know. You have to recognize.
Absolutely. You have to know a hit. You know, when you feel those chills, you know, hey, you want the money, right?
Don't disturb that groove. My
right.
group
Keep going.
made that song. The system,
Don't disturb that groove. Right. I have a question. If you can educate me here, there are only 12 notes per octave. Is that right?
Yes, 12 notes.
So you only have like 12 notes to really work with.
Yeah, that's about 6 too many. You're talking about the blues and country music. You know, they can make a whole song with 3 chords, but you know, each chord can have 3 notes, 5 notes, 7 notes. So it gets like that. But yeah, we need all 12 of them. But in Indian music, they use what you call quarter tones. So that's notes in between the notes. So there are other cultures that really get into.
Okay. So how in the world did you are so talented, how did you crank out the hits with only like 12 notes per octave for no parking on the dance floor, Freak-a-zoid, wet my whistle, Midas Touch. I mean, and the list goes on and on. Feel So Good, Night Rider, all of those. Oh my goodness. You know, how in the world did you crank out all of those dance hits?
Well, if you notice, Freak-a-zoid has 1 note on the bass line. Boom, 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 do. That's just 1 note.
I see you can ride, and okay.
But you're always trying to get back to simplicity. The idea is to take something simple and make it seem interesting or more complicated, and take something that's complicated and make it seem very simple. So when you go against those grains, then you're just making notes. So it's different between making notes and making music. I remember I sent a song in for a Kenny Rogers album. The producer said, Reggie, James Carmichael, said, you have a song for Kenny Rogers? Country song, right? So I sent mine in. He said, that got too many chords in it. There's too many chord changes. So I learned a lot from that. But the gift comes from God, of course.
Of course, yeah.
I have a gift of melody and lyric, and then I studied music to learn how to create what I was hearing. So, for me, I can hear a door go. I can write a song off of that. So I can hear the birds chirping. So I get it from everywhere. I can look at a magazine, and when I'm looking at the magazine, it's a alcohol advertisement, and it says "Wet Your Whistle." I say, "Wet my whistle." That's the song.
I see. That's what the title came
from everywhere. Yeah, then Joy, Love Old Boy for Gladys Knight, and Casanova. Casanova was written as a country western song. When I first started working on it, I was riding up and down the highway on the Greyhound bus between Louisville and Cincinnati. It was a big thing for us. My stepfather was a Greyhound bus driver, but also being on the road with Midnight Star and just traveling down those open roads, the country music just would come back to me. So when I wrote the chorus for Casanova, I wasn't really serious about it. It just rolled out, but it was a country thing. And then when Sylvia Rome said, "Do you have anything for Levert?" I said, "Well, there's a song they're working on called Casanova. That would be a great image for them. And but how can I turn it into an R&B song and make it funky?"
Exactly. So how did you do that?
Well, so what I had was the I'm much on Casanova. That's the part I had. And then when I
Right.
got
You
the
can build
oh
on that.
Casanova, you build on that.
Yeah.
Then I needed the beat. But you look at where the music is at the time, so if you're trying to make a hit record, you want to be current with what's going on. I was in LA riding down the highway, and actually I heard a Club Nouveau song. One of my dear friends, I'll get his name in a minute. That's so funny.
That's okay.
J King. Yeah, there you go. Jay.
Okay.
Yeah, but I heard their song, Lean on Me, which was the Bill Withers song redone, and the way they did it was a very open sound. It was just sonically relaxed, and even with a little Caribbean feel in the whole thing. But those sonics just rang true to me. So I said, that's the sound I want.
Yeah.
Then a couple of weeks later, I woke up in the middle of the night, I should say, and the Casanova beat came to me. And luckily I had my tape recorder beside me, which is another key to always be prepared.
Yeah.
Now you got your cell phone, you can record on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got, it was just in my head. So I put it down on the tape. Next day when I woke up, I said, okay, now I'm gonna go finish. Now I know how to finish this song. So then we began to layer it, the basic groove, the chords, the change, the bridge, looking at all those different elements that make the song, and working with great musicians also helped because those guys bring an extra feel to it that makes it come alive. Joe Davis is playing that incredible bass line, Gene Robinson on guitar, Johnny Bebop Jones, and even did some pre-production in Pasadena, California.
Yeah.
With Dave. So it's just it's a teamwork, and then my brother Vincent, of course, always there with me to make things come alive.
So No Parking on the Dance Floor, did you get a Grammy for that, or were you nominated for that one as for a Grammy?
The ironic thing about that was we were not. We outsold Earth, Wind and Fire that year. We were the largest selling self-contained group in the industry. But we didn't get noticed in that area. That's why I've studied so much, how that whole process goes down. So at the time, we were just musicians. We were just making music. We didn't know the political things that go into those type of things. They're voted on by the members of the Academy, and if the Academy doesn't, they may hear your music on the radio, but they don't know the name of the group unless somebody tells them. So you really have to have a PR firm, marketing. You have to, be a member, and I'm a member now of NARAS. I'm a member of California Copyright Conference. I'm a member of the American Independent Music Producers, of the Producers Wing of the Academy. Just I belong to so many different things now. I'm on the board of directors for several organizations.
Yeah, you are.
Including the Funk Hall of Fame.
The Funk Hall of Fame. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Our music and but I was just saying, our music and our work now is 2 of our songs were sent to outer space last month. So we've been heard not only all around the world, but in space. Freak-a-zoid and I Want to Be Rich were taken to space and broadcast. But so you have to be involved, and you have to. So now, every year from now to I leave this earth. I missed this year, but to put our songs up for nomination is the key. That's the first step, is to be qualified for nomination, being inside the time period, and then promoting yourself and let everybody know you're there, and then winning the votes. So it's a process.
Were you ever nominated for a Grammy?
Yes, I had. Our songs have been nominated 5 times. Right.
What songs were they? Do you remember?
Oh, I can't forget that. But I get 20, I may not remember. But it's 5. But anyway, Casanova. I was just joking. Joy for Teddy Pendergrass, and Love Overboard for Gladys Knight, which won a Grammy.
Love Overboard, by Gladys. So you wrote Love Overboard? Wow.
Yes. And Casanova was nominated twice for R&B Song of the Year, which would be for me, and then Best Duo Group, which would be for Levert, and then Natalie Cole's Jumpstart My Heart, nominated for a Grammy.
Wow, amazing. How did you handle all of the success that was bestowed upon you? How did you handle the pressure of success?
I think I handled it pretty good,
Yeah,
but there are moments, you know, when you
you
look
didn't
back
look.
at some of your regrets. You know, I don't
Yeah,
have a lot of regrets, but I have a couple of them. One was uh, you can be so tied up into yourself, which you have to be as an artist, but you have to keep your eyes open to not lose opportunities that come around you that way. We were offered to produce Whitney Houston, and we were just finishing up the mixes on "I Want to Be Rich," and we were so involved in that time that I wasn't as enthused about the song that Clive Davis wanted us to produce. I was thinking more like, well, let us write some songs for Whitney.
yeah,
But in hindsight, I should have said, Clive, we'll get right on it. We'll knock that song out. And by the way, here's a couple of other songs for Whitney. So that's what we
that
should have
didn't,
did.
yeah, it didn't
So
happen.
that, you know, you can be a little full of yourself. If you get caught up into saying, oh, why me? Why not me? Like we didn't get nominated for a Grammy for New Parking album. You know, that could, you could take that to heart, but they didn't for us. We went right in and did the next album and the next album, you know, and continued to go gold and platinum as well. So yeah, you have to stay focused and, you know, ride the wave really, really hard and steady. But
Yeah.
when I was nominated for a Grammy and was going to New York when they were held in New York that year, and you only get like 4 tickets, and then you got family here, family there, and
Everybody wants to come to
it's
the
like
concert.
it's like who's going to go and who's going to be mad at you. That was
Oh,
a lot of pressure because at that time you're not rich enough to just say, well, here's $300 for your ticket, here's $300 for your ticket. You can't just do like
right.
at the
You gotta,
athletes do when they fill the stands up. You know, you're like, oh wow, that
yeah.
person's hurt. So
When you got your first big check, how did that affect you? What did you do? What did you buy?
oh man, I got my first car. I never, my brother and I split a car when we were in college,
Oh,
just to get around the campus, because it couldn't go too far. We were at Kentucky State University, 90 miles from Cincinnati. It was a rough trip trying to go back to Cincinnati with the car. But anyway, so I bought I did like a lot of people do is in terms of that first little flash, but you know, I didn't go and like get a super expensive car, but I did get a crazy car, a 300ZX, which was
ooh,
silver.
those were.
That thing was made out of tin, and so it just, you know, accident, it just crumbles.
I
And
remember
then
those cars. Those cars were popular back then.
yeah, it was, so they were showy.
Mhm.
And then I got, you know, a condo, which was because we all lived in the same house. After we left Kentucky State, we went to my grandparents' house in Louisville, Kentucky, and we lived and rehearsed there at the compliments of my family, my uncle and my
Mhm.
father. And then we left Cincinnati to go to New York and do a showcase. After we did the showcase in New York, we got robbed of some of our personal belongings while we were there, and it was a scary town. We did well on the showcase. We got discovered, but we got the heck out of New York, and said, well, we can't go back to Louisville. So where we gonna go? So mom said, come on to Cincinnati. We moved the whole band and the road crew into my mother's house in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they became our home base for rehearsing and writing songs and living, and you know, meeting with people and the whole deal. There was the Fort Knox home base Midnight Star, Cincinnati, Ohio, and the community of Avondale.
So
But
what's the, oh, let me go ahead. I'm
but so
sorry.
that's my last thing. So then when we got our first hits, and it was now everybody's moving out, right? So I got a condo.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my first things to do.
yeah, yeah. Car and condo. You gotta have those two. That's a necessity. You're
Yeah,
right. You didn't go like way out and just
yeah.
be extravagant or anything.
The second thing to do was to after most everybody moved out of the house, then my mother could move back in because she moved out and got an apartment while we took over the house because it was just to make more space and to, you know, to have a little bit more freedoms. So we got her moved back in the house and fixed the house, you know, back up and put things back together and, you
Yeah.
know, added a porch to the back porch and stuff and did
Mhm.
things for mom. So that was another good use of what
That's
to
a
do with
blessing. Thank God for moms. You said that right. You
Oh yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
If it wasn't for her, there'd be no me. There
That-
probably wouldn't be a Midnight Star. Wouldn't be a lot of that good music that we have going on out there.
That's correct. Tell me about the title Midnight Star. How did you come up with the title?
We used to rehearse in my dorm room. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you can imagine, there was about 9 of us, or 8 at the time, and you know, we rehearsed that. We sneaked Melinda in because we didn't have co-ed dorms at Kentucky State during those times. And you know, one of the evenings we were hanging out, and of course it was time to. We've been practicing for a while. What's the name of the group? We got to get a name. So Jeffrey Cooper came up with the word "star," the guitar player, and we all said that sounds cool. I said I like that too. I said, but it's a little short. Then I added Midnight Star, midnight to it, and then the slogan was born. If you can look into the darkness and see the light, then you too can be a midnight star. And
Oh,
so you know, we all loved it. It was easy going from there. And,
yeah.
yeah.
You're known for techno funk, is that right?
Yes.
Did you create that? I think you did.
We're definitely created and known for it in terms of the actual sound.
Yeah, the
It was coming about in the hip hop in the rap era. Was starting to break into African Bambaataa, Egyptian lover. People were messing with it. But what we did when we took all those things, added them together, the techno, and then adding the actual funk to it, as opposed to it just being like electronic song.
yeah, yeah.
You listen to No Parking and you hear the bass, you know, that's the funk. Or when you hear the intensity of Freak-a-zoid, that one note with funky intentions, whereas a lot of just pop and disco and, you know, sort of can just be an even thing, but the funk is on the one, you know, as we always talk about that we
Yeah.
all learned from James Brown and Bootsy carried it on and Parliament Funkadelic carried it on. So, and then to take that groove and then put a melody on top of it. So we
Yes.
put songs on top of a funky techno groove, which made it become bigger than life
Yeah.
because you can just hear the lyric without even hearing the music, and it evokes what's going to happen next. You know, I'll be a freakazoid, come on and wind me up. You know, I wanted to create a melody that no one had ever heard before, like what it makes it and it definitely worked. And then putting lyrics to it and telling a story inside of a funky techno song. Also, you know, when you say no parking on the dance floor, everybody's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
No parking sign every day, but you never thought about it like that. You know, you got to get the party, you got to get the moving. So you add creativity to it, you add melody to it, you add a story to it, and now you have captured a part of America, you know, part of the world.
And you did that. I'm telling you, I saw the video. I just saw the video about 5 years ago. I'm like, I didn't even know they had a video out on no parking on the day.
Oh yeah, thank you. That was our
I
favorite.
had
That
no
was,
idea.
the record companies, it was making up to us because uh, we had done a Freakazoid video and they had promised us all these things they were going to do, and they did relatively none of them. And so by the time we got to no parking, they said, okay, we're gonna get it all together this time. So we blocked off a whole block in Los Angeles, California, shut down the streets, brought in dancers and actors and, you know, imitation. This it was just incredible. So that was all out, what an all out party and so well enjoyed.
Man, those songs right there, Freakazoid, No Parking on the Dance Floor. Oh my goodness, those songs playing in the club was, if I tell you thumping, it was stomping. Had me and my cousin, I guess we was about 18, out there on the dance floor, just really, really dancing it up. I'm like, and for me to be talking to you is just such an honor.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Wow, wow. What is some of the funniest things that, or the funniest bizarre thing that happened to you on stage or off stage?
Oh, this is. I want to get more of these good stories so I can have a variety. But we're coming into the Coliseum, and we're getting ready to do a big concert. The Commodores are headlining, and we're in the middle of the act, and so it's a really exciting time. And we go through the initial gate, and we headed towards the backstage area, and the security guard says, "Backstage passes, please." And the road manager says, we're Midnight Star with the band, and we get our backstage passes once we get to the backstage door. He says, well, you can't come through here. It's like, oh, we got to go get our passes. So we're on stage in 30 minutes. We got to, we need to get in here. And,
were you opening? Were you opening for someone?
We were in the middle of the show, but the Commodores were the headliners. And then I'll tell you who the opening act was in a second.
I think you got stuck.
Yeah, so we we had the sweet spot. Okay. So the road manager says, we're going through. So he tells everybody, duck, hit the floor. They tell the driver to hit the gas. The driver pulls off. The security guard reaches down for his holster. We hit the floor. So we get back to the backstage pass, get our backstage door, get our passes going. We open the door, and then we hear all these screaming, these high pitched girls screaming, and we're like, man, this is gonna be a great show. We really have made it now. We walk a few more steps, and running past us is these little short guys. This New Edition, and all these girls are screaming for New Edition. They just came off stage. Was screaming
for y'all.
Yeah, we know the screams were a little young, but that was so awesome. That was like sort of not a passing of the guard, because we were the younger ones to the Commodores, and they were the young ones to us.
Yeah.
So this crowd was between the age of 13 to 60. So that was a large. Large span of our audience, but what a great show! And we became friends with New Edition from then on, so it was just a great time. They great admiration both ways.
You are the founder of Music for Sound Royalties. Music for Sound Royalties. What is that about?
So I'm the director of music royalty funding. Before that, I co-founded and co-owned a company that was the first online auction-based company to bring together buyers and sellers of income streams, royalty income streams, and any little part of it, 10% of it, 5% of it. So it was a way for artists to make money. I quickly realized that a small guy should never sell, because he's going to regret that, because once you sell that income, you no longer get it, your heirs don't get it, and it's gone out the window. I saw my interest in that company. And my new partner, Alex Heike, who's the founder of Sound Royalties, founded me. And, he'd been following us, so he knew about me, what I'd been doing, and he knew what our company had been doing. He wanted to make it even more artist-friendly by not buying or selling, but by supplying royalty advances for those who are receiving royalties without them selling any of their rights. So that's the whole foundation of Sound Royalties is you're making royalties, you want to reinvest in yourself. The banks are not necessarily talking to you. Mm-hmm. So we created an entity to make those royalty advances without you selling your rights, without you having great credit, working around any problems that you may have tax-wise or even child support-wise, to where as a bank would not look at that. We're able to be flexible to do that. So we've created this incredible brand, this incredible company that's helping artists to invest in themselves. Mm-hmm. Because when you get receiving your royalties, they come every 3 months. Some coming every once a month now, but most of them are every 6 months. You're always behind because you spent the money before you get it. And you can't turn around and do things that you want to do. So in this independent market, you can take 3 years of money or a year of money or 5 years of money. You can get it now, and then you can do something very constructive with it. We have people that are promoting their own records, building their studios out, mm-hmm. signing new writers, mm-hmm. or taking care of some financial situations that always needed to be addressed.
Wow! So you manage their royalties, and do they get advancements on the music, on the songs?
So we would collect the royalties and then advance them more than what they're receiving.
I see.
So the person's receiving, $5,000 a year, but they need $20,000 now. Then we look at how we can do that for them.
I see. Right.
Also, we now expanding. Oops, sorry, you go ahead.
Regardless of their credit history, is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah, we're not credit based. We're looking at how that income stream is performing.
I see. Okay.
In the music industry, people can have up to 10 income streams, and at some point up to 50. We have a list of 50 that we've created, but let's just say that they're receiving 10. One is a PRO, which is a BMI or ASCAP or CSAC. That's performance royalties. Then there's publishing royalties that come in when the record is sold. There's artist royalties that come in when the record is sold. So there's all these different types of income. There's sound exchange that plays when it's played on digital radio. So all those income streams can be combined or looked at separately to take advances from. We've started a new offering called copyright assistance, catalog assistance. So anybody who insists upon selling, we'll help them get the best price. We'll do the analysis for them, show them what it's worth, represent them so they get the best fair price, and do all that for them. So we're happy to announce that and continue to make a way for people to reinvest themselves, live their lives, and the whole thing.
I think that's an amazing system you have there, an organization. Were you also inspired to be involved with this because you were not paid fairly by the record companies?
There's always when you asked me that question about the finances earlier, I was going to jump right into this, but I'm glad we segued into it, where we can really take our time on it. But all your royalties, you do want to keep a close lookout for it. Not to mention that the earlier contracts, the contract you sign is the one that sets up your pay and how much percentage you get and for how long. So the first step is to make sure that you have a good contract and that you have a lawyer look at it. Don't try to do it on your own. You will not see everything is in there. And your divorce lawyer cannot read a music industry contract and understand it because they haven't experienced what's in those contracts. So you need a music attorney. So you want to have a good contract that's the best for you can have it at the time. When you're a beginner, your contract won't be as good as when you're selling 1 million records because they're looking at, what they think you can sell based upon what they're going to offer you. So yeah, our earlier contracts were not great. And having a 9-person group, even if we go platinum, it doesn't divide well between 9 to last a long time. So you have to watch every income stream, even your concerts and things of that nature. To answer your question, yes, in terms of needing funds, I fell into this business because of my need. I was contacted by an associate from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We had performed there. My brother and I had performed there a couple of times and made some good friends. And he said, I know how you can make some money off your royalties. And I was like, well, I'm not interested in that. I'm not selling my royalties or, I'm just cool the way I am. But the time went on and I was about to move to Los Angeles and it was close to Christmas time. So how do I navigate Christmas gifts and my move? And I don't get paid to January. So I did an experiment, and raised the money that I needed to raise. And it was done so smoothly. And I could see the value of royalties as an annuity, as an asset outside of what it makes monthly and yearly. It has a value way beyond that, 10 times that and 20 times that, as copyrights are being sold now at 10 and 20 times multiples. That means if it's making $10,000 a year, it could sell for $100,000 or $200,000, today. So after doing that experiment, like I said, the owner of that company said, I'm about to expand to Los Angeles. Anybody that wants to help? I said, I think you found it. So I stumbled into the business that way, and a lot of people wonder, they're so conscious about what they're going to make as a salary, whatever. I said, there was no salary. We just went to work, rolled our sleeves up, went to work. And, then some commissions start coming in, and then build the company. And then the same thing with Alex. It's not like, okay, what am I making? When Alex said, you want to roll with me? Let's roll up our sleeves and let's roll.
Yeah.
We go down to Atlanta and start signing up people and building a company. And like I said, now I'm the director of music royalty funding. And we're just doing bigger things.
That's a beautiful thing you're doing for the artists. You released a single called Sabrina. And what was the inspiration behind your single, Sabrina?
I wrote it a while back. And I'm a big fan of Sade. So when you talk about my other mentors with Earth, Wind and Fire, and Maurice White and Quincy, and Sade is my female
Yeah,
interest
yeah.
in terms of her music style and that mode. And so I wanted to do something like the male Sade, and so I wrote the groove first because I wanted that hypnotic, just that island feel. That now I got a new word for it, bubble bath feel, and then I'm like, what do I call it?
Yeah.
I wanted to make it a name, and I started going through names, and different words evoke different feelings. So Sabrina just happens to be my wife at the time, and the mother of two of my children. But I didn't just stop there. I tried other names. Even my daughter's name, both my daughters, Tanisha and Regina. They're all gorgeous names too.
Yeah.
But it's something about the ring of the Sabrina, the way it matched that music. And I said, this is it. So to write the story is a romantic fantasy. And Sabrina used to always say, this song's not about me, it's not about me. When are you gonna write a song about me? I said, well, this one is a romantic fantasy, but it is about you, but it's fantasized in terms of the truth is altered. So, I met her after a concert at the after party that was held especially for the group. And she was sitting across the table from me. And so in the song, it talks about it was love at first sight that day in the village. So I transformed it into an African village as opposed to an after party, and then transformed a lot of the other things to the point of Sabrina being a princess queen, and that's because when we met in the fantasy, she was young, and then we met again as an adult. So in the video, my son plays me young. Yeah. And it's me flashing back to these scenes.
In the video,
in the video, yeah. So people will get that story as they watch it. And I don't want to give it all away, but yes. So the combination of the sound of the ringing of the voice, with the way it rolls off your lips when you say Sabrina and that music, and to tell this fantasy story about love and distant places and romance and falling in love at first sight. And so all those things are. I just love that. I get goosebumps when I think about that. I wrote that.
It is a beautiful song. It really is a beautiful, beautiful song. Wow.
Thank you. And for all the ladies out there, the underlying message of this song that came to me later is that a woman should never be called outside of her name.
Absolutely.
She should always be treated like a princess or a queen.
Absolutely.
People, you can have a pet name for somebody, but that's because they like it. And it might be a bad word, pet name, but if they like it, then they like it. But in the meantime, it should be total respect. And to accompany that, I'm going to do 30-second versions for all the ladies in the world with your name on the song, as opposed to Sabrina. We're going to replace Sabrina with your name, so you can use it as your ringtone for your phone, or however you want to do it. So.
Okay, so I go first, right, Cindy?
Yeah. So yours, because yours has 2 syllables, then we will add another syllable like oh Cindy, or sweet Cindy, sweet Cindy.
Wow.
So you let me know.
Okay, yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. Hey, I'm gonna be looking for that. I'm gonna be looking for it.
Okay, we'll be announcing it in about 2 weeks, and then tell everybody how to get it done. But they'll go straight to my website, reggieCalloway.com. Place an order, and it'll be very reasonable. But it's something I wanted to do, and I think it's just a great thing. But also we have coming up every Wednesday, we're going to be announcing the Sabrina Song Challenge. And that's for all the singers and rappers. You do your best verse, and it'll be up. You can get the music instrumental on YouTube starting tomorrow. And, put your best verse to it, whether it's a rap or whether it's singing. Post it on your Instagram. And copy me on the Instagram at Reggie Calloway. Then we would view it. And every Wednesday we're going to pick a winner and award them $100 for 5 weeks for the best Sabrina Song Challenge.
Amazing. That's beautiful. I like that concept.
But you might like this better, Cindy. You help me out with this. We're gonna do also in about 3 weeks is the bubble bath challenge.
Okay.
You come home from work, you're tired, or you've been to the gym and you've been pumping up and whatever, and then the music hits and you're in the bubble bath.
Oh,
Grooving to Sabrina.
Grooving to Sabrina. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sabrina be the music. So that'll be a big TikTok thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it can go on and on. You can take that and just
we're just gonna have fun. Because we're bringing back a movement. It's from the album "Bring Back the Love." So we're bringing back a whole movement of relaxed, calm. It's been a lot of stress.
Bring back the love. I'm for that. I am definitely for that.
That single's on YouTube as well, which will be released in a couple of weeks to bring more attention to this time around. Now that we're in this independent market, there's a lot more things to do. So check out "Bring Back the Love" on YouTube.
Bring Back the Love. Well. You also did a song called "God Is the Source."
Yes.
Yeah, that's a nice song. Yeah.
Thank you. So I did a whole spiritual inspirational album, and one of the songs is on the "Bring Back the Love" album, which is called "You're My Music," and then "God Is the Source" is the title. Will be the title of the gospel album. So putting out one single at a time. For Easter, we'll put out "You're My Music," meaning God is our music, and love is our music. And then putting out more songs from that particular CD all the time. But I've always wanted to do a gospel or a spiritual inspirational album. And so I finally have, and now have the ability to get it out to the public. So really, really exciting.
This platform these days, man, if you'd had that platform back in the 80s, oh my goodness, the YouTube, the Twitter, all the social media, man, you would have went all the way to heaven.
It would have been unbearable. I think everything in its own time. I can't imagine where the industry would be, like you said, if it had gone. But it would have been a little bit different. Well, you would have had to have it all set up because even the internet wasn't even thought about then. So it's incredible, and the amount of money that was spent on breaking records in those days. No artist independently could do that on a regular basis. There's always that. Once in a while thing, and rap really changed things because they began to go back to the 60s, back to the Berry Gordy days of selling the records out of the trunk of the car. So rap went back to that and built that whole industry and showed that yes, independence can work. But during that time, radio was expecting a whole lot of money, a lot of independent promotion to get your things played, and you needed tour support to get around the country on a bus and places to perform. So this is a new time. It's hard life. Yeah, we did it all in 2 cars and a U-Haul trailer, and then a van. I'll talk about a funny story. Our first, we were going to California after we signed with Solar to do the record. Dick Griffey talked to Lakeside, who's from Dayton, Ohio, to use Lakeside's bus to bring us to California. So we load the whole band, Midnight Star, up on Lakeside's tour bus with a bunch of their guys, and we were headed out to California, loaded up and moving to Beverly Hills. That is.
Oh my goodness! I tell you, I can talk to you all day about this, but I'm not going to hold your time. I just want to thank you again for appearing here, talking with me, and explaining and sharing your stories. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Goodbye to all of your fans and friends, and all mine as well. Much love.
All right. Much love. And I want to thank you for watching the Cindy Davis Show. Until next time, God bless.